Captain on the bridge.
Alright, captains, we are back on the bridge, and today, yes, we will be on my Prometheus. But to be exact, this is my Tier 5 Fleet Prometheus. Now, when this video releases, Star Trek Fleet Week actually just wrapped up last night. But we did record this that night so that we can release it today. I did say that was kind of like the last thing I was going to participate in or do here for Fleet Week was the stream in terms like of our theme stream, the Fleet theme stream, but couldn't have just left it off on that since we did build out this ship. Might as well do a video on it. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to go over the build, weapons, base set, console, station traits, DOFs, and take it into an elite Argala. So, again, this is my Prometheus Fleet Advanced Escort T5U. Now, captains, this was my first fleet ship. Hence, that's why we took it out last night. The whole point of it was to take out our first fleet ship. Now, we did kind of modify the build to kind of sort of fit with the whole fleet theme. What do I mean by that? Well, again, this is the fleet version of the Prometheus. And what I decided to do aesthetically, cosmetically, was use the deflector or the lower hull part of the, I'm probably going to say this wrong, of the fleet version, the Hephaestus or Hephaestus. Apologies on my pronunciation, but our thinking was this was going to be an upgrade, of course, to the existing Prometheus. I actually do like the deflector of the fleet version here, and it actually changes the orientation of the nacelles there. You can see that the lower ones are kind of pushed forward and the upper are kind of swept back a little bit, still with the forward sort of pylons going on of the Prometheus. So everything is the Prometheus, but the only thing that we changed here was the deflector or lower hull, and I think it really did a huge difference already. And again, this was a look that we used back in the day when we first got this ship. I just thought, again, in my mind, this was an upgrade to it. Now, the weapon choices that we use here too as well is based on this look right here. And of course, we'll get into that here as we get into the build. So again, this is the USS Zeus. This is what I named her first. I just had the ship dry docked, and like I said, one more thing I wanted to do here for Fleet Week was just take her out and just have some fun pew-pews. Now, here we go. We'll go over the build. So the 4 weapons. For the phaser look, we're going for the Agony Phaser Beam. Alright, again, so crit DM, damage times 4. Just got this off the exchange. As you can see here, we got a pair of Advanced Fleet Photon Torpedo launchers. Crit DM, damage times 4. Again, we got this from the Fleet Starbase. So, yes, Fleet Week, Fleet Torps, why not? We're going to go with our Gravimetric Photon Torpedo Launcher. This is from the Dyson Rep. Captains, you know this is my favorite torpedo because of just how it looks cosmetically. Now, there could be a chance I could blow myself up, but it's for fun. Now, this also was seen in Voyager, used in Voyager, and of course we saw the Prometheus in Voyager, so that's how I made that connection. Yes. Now, base set. We kind of decided to go old school. In terms of when we got the ship, this is what we were using back then. Plus, it also has something to do with the impulse engine. So we went with the 2-piece Nukara deflector. Of course, you can get this from Nukara Rep. The reason why back then the 2-piece gave you plus 5% bonus energy weapon damage. Weapon stabilize automatically removes weapons disabled. Can only occur up to once per 60 seconds. That's why we use this back then. And also, since this is an escort, I did not want to use the competitive engines because this is already a zippy ship. So I wanted to move as natural as I can. Probably not going to happen because I move around like a headless chicken anyways in space when I do my PVUs. So, but this is why I used this set here specifically. For our warp core, we went with the Elite Fleet Plasma Integrated Warp Core. Of course, this was from our Spire as well, from the fleet. So again, a great warp core. Helps with energy, weapons, really good, really well. So shields-wise, we're still going to use Tilly's Review Pending Modified Shield, just because of how good, again, your weapon attacks cause enemy shields to receive 11.5 increased damage for 10 seconds. This, again, is from your Discovery rep. Now, the Aft Weapons. This is what we did here. With the Agony Phaser Beam Array, of course, as I normally do. Again, crit DM damage 4. Omnidirectional Phaser Beam. This I crafted a long time ago. So I had this and I just upgraded it to crit DM damage 3. And of course the Trilithium Enhanced Omnidirectional Phaser Beam Array, which we got from the featured episode Nexus. Very, very good weapon here. And this also actually gives us a 2.5% chance to gain 10% firing cycle haste for energy weapons for 15 seconds. So not bad. Now, having said that, the reason why I don't have torpedoes in the aft, which I normally do, and when I built this out, I did, when you look at the actual model of the Prometheus, and actually Trek Yards pointed this out, there is no aft torpedo launchers. So we decided not to put any aft torpedoes. Just specifically for this build to just kind of change it up. And it's not the first time I haven't done that. Again, if a model specifically doesn't have it, sometimes I won't use it, but sometimes I will still, because yes, I do like afts. No, well, I do like afts, but I do like torpedoes coming out of our afts. Now, this ship originally did not have an experimental weapon, but we decided to put one on here because aesthetically, we are going to somewhat upgrade this in my headcanon to have quantum torpedoes. Now, this is the Terran Repeating Warhead Launcher, which comes from the Adamant, from the Terran 12th Anniversary Bundle. This could have done literally 1 DPS, and I'd still use it for the looks, because it does look pretty cool. So, because this model does have a lot of torpedo launchers right there on the saucer, on secondary hull, we're going to use that and say, yes, got back to the fleet starbase and got upgraded. For devices, what we're going to use, but actually it's pretty decent, I think. The repeating kinetic damager plus 30% critical severity with this weapon. So why not? Why not? Devices we're going to go with battery, energy, weapon, amplifier, and the battery kinetic amplifier, or my energy and or torpedo candy. Yes. Now, consoles, we are definitely going to use the multi-vector assault mode. Very sole reason I got this ship was just to do what we saw this do in Voyager. Message in a bottle, specifically, where you saw the Prometheus split into 3. And yes, in this configuration, you can still split up. I usually like to go to the beta section. Now tell me that doesn't look cool. And these two other pets now that you have, the saucer and the lower hull and or whatever one you pick, or the other two, they'll be firing also phaser and photons. So it kind of sort of fits the whole thing of what we're doing anyways. Then, of course, you can click it again and do this cool animation, because why not? Ooh, that is so good. That is so good. Yes. So good. Sorry. Getting excited. But yes, we're going to definitely use that just for the sake of using it. So now to boost our performance, this is kind of what we decided to do here. So Bioneural Infusion Circuits, of course, you can get this from your low-buy store. You got your Dynamic Power Distribution Module. Of course, Captains, you can get this, of course, off the Atlas, aka Prototype Dreadnought. You can get this as a prize from your event campaign. Of course, plus 11.3 all damage resistance rating, plus 19% directed energy damage. Of course, but it's an oh crap button as well, a good oh crap button, because when you click it for 20 seconds, plus 40% bonus damage, while your hull is above 80%, plus 100%, 100 bonus damage resistance rating, and plus 500% hull regen. And yes, we are pairing it up with a point defense bombardment warhead. This is going to help our torpedoes. So I can see the layout here. I have 4 energy weapons and 3 torpedoes. So we're trying to balance it out of boosting the phasers and the torpedoes. The consoles that we use here are going to be boosting both. Of course, the plus 25% projectile damage plus the 1% critical chance. But the 2-piece, of course, gives us a little bit more phaser damage for directed energy weapons, so plus 33%. Can't beat that. Next up, of course, is our console Domino for the plus 15% phaser damage, plus 20 AC rating. This comes from your Bajoran Interceptor, a very staple on mostly all my energy builds that we use here. This, of course, you can get this ship from the Phoenix Prize Pack Epic Tier. But when you click it for 10 seconds, you get 25% fire cycle haste for energy weapons, plus 25% bonus all damage. So this is going to boost all of our damage. Plus 25% recharge speed for our bridge officers, and 100% recharge speed for torpedo weapons. And of course, if we kill a foe within the 10 seconds, this gets extended plus 2 seconds. So it's benefiting and helping all of our weapons that we have on this. We're going to use its little brother, the M6 computer. This actually comes from your Temporal Escort, which you can buy from your shipyard. For the plus 15% bonus all damage for 15 seconds, 25% cooldown reduction for tactical bridge officer abilities, and 20% fire cycle haste for all weapons for 15 seconds. And then, of course, the plus 30 AC and defense for 15 seconds. Now, for our tactical consoles, again, this is what we did. We kind of mixed it up here. We're going to start here at the front. We got 2 phaser vulnerability locators to give us the 39.4 phaser damage, plus 2% critical chance. And then 3 torpedo vulnerability locators to help our torpedoes there. Plus 2% critical chance, and of course, 34.5% torpedo weapon damage. So that is what we did. That was my reasoning for it, just because. What does that give us for stat-wise? Crit chance, we get 44.7%. Crit severity, 168.2%. Of course, captains, I have my Pendevers to 600. I do have 150 points here to go to 750, but I'm almost doing this just to kind of show that this is nice to have, but you don't need it. For me, at least, or I don't need it. Because I get along fine with the nightly pew-pews that we do regardless. So there's that. Skill-wise, for our specialization, nothing different. Intel primary, temporal secondary. Traits, again, a mixture of trying to boost both the weapons that we have here for beams and torpedoes. Good day to die. Superior beam training. Superior projectile training, which actually you can get the upgrade from your fleet, Starbase, so, right? It makes sense to me. Self-modulating fire. Resonating payload modification. The adaptive offense, unconventional systems, terror and targeting systems, intelligent agent attaché, and the Boimler effect. Starship traits, this is where we also try to be a little creative, not really, but just sticking with what I like to use. Assault formation theta, love this trait. This is going to give us all the benefits of attack pattern Omega, but also give us a high yield 3 torpedo. Hence why I said earlier, I might kill myself because I'm using the gravimetric torpedo. But that's okay. Like I said, I like it. Super weapon ingenuity. So we're going to have beam overload 3 as one of our main damage types, of course, but also high yield 3. Okay, but this extends your beam overload by 5 seconds. Now we're going to also use entwined tactical matrices for our torp spread. So we're going to be bouncing back and forth high yield and torp spread. Now we're going to use preferential targeting. This is going to help boost our beam overload damage when we hit cannon scatter volley, which we have in the stations, which you'll see later, Caps. Then universal designs. We're going to use that for its stacking crit chance and crit severity. Why not? Base rep, advanced targeting systems. We're going to keep torpedo pre-fire sequence for the plus 15.6% bonus torpedo damage and plus 41.3 destructible torpedo flight speed. This, of course, is going to apply to our high yield gravimetric torpedo when it gets fired. Precision, magnified firepower to boost weapon damage by 6.3%, because why not? And of course, Tyler's duality for that. Now, you could still go with your torpedo traits here, or I could, like Omega Kinetic Shearing, but I just decided I wanted to try magnified firepower. Active space reputation, nothing too crazy. Anti-time and time singularity. Biomolecular shield generator. Deploy sensor interface platform. Quantum singularity manipulation. And refractoring tetron cascade. Stations, this is what we did. We went to tactical team. Back in the day, I used this a lot. Not so much anymore, but I had really nothing else, so that's what we're using. Tac team. Left, right, top to bottom is what we're going to do, Caps. Cannon scatter volley. When I hit this, this will give me my torpedo spread, but also boost my weapon damage on my beam overload, which we have here. Beam overload 3. Of course, we're going to use attack pattern Omega. This, of course, will also give us our high yield, but also the benefits of attack pattern Omega. Distributed targeting. Attack pattern Beta. I like attack patterns. It really helps my immersion. Sight lace weaponry. And emergency power to shields. Emergency power to weapons. Now, again, back in the day, I used to just love cycling between these two because it just made sense in my head. Those actually powers you hear on screen. So yes, why not? Tractor beam, scramble sensors, and photonic shock wave. So there's our station. Let's go to our DOPS. Let us go to our DOPS. Not that one, to our DOPS. Nothing too different from what you've seen before. On the ground, helping us in space, Neil Falconer. Of course, increased damage versus the Berg. Elder Malikatan, base increased damage versus all. This is what we did with our actual space DOF. So we have 3 projectile officers helping us to stack crit severity. A chance to stack crit severity when we fire projectiles. We have this energy weapons officer, chance for beam overload to cause all attacks against the target to gain 30% shield penetration. And then, of course, we have 2 other energy officers here. 1 chance for stacking crit chance, and 1 chance to stack crit severity when firing energy weapons. So there is the build, Captains. Again, keep in mind, this is all in good fun. This is all in the spirit of what we had just done through the past week of Star Trek Fleet Week, which I believe was a huge success. The hype was so real, and again, got us to just try and reach out there and be a part of it, because why not? And then also we can share experience with you, Captains, here on the bridge. So what we're going to do now is take this into an Elite Argala and see how it does. I'm thinking it should do pretty well. And yes, we're going to do it under Elite. And keep in mind, I did not upgrade this fully to have the unlock trait because back in the day I didn't use it. I could do it now, but again, Captains, you know me, I like doing more with less. It's kind of a thing I like to do here. So here we go, Elite Argala. Let's do this. Again, this is the first ship that I got. We didn't warp out. We just kind of stayed there. Just cut screen, just go. All right.
Tactical alert. Vessel approaching, bearing 184, Mark 7.
Ooh. Let's go, red alert. Okay, Caps, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to beta section here. Yes! Okay, here we go. Okay, there's the quantum torpedo looking launchers, and we just finished a Pandever. Well, take that. Took out that one ship, but it's so cool to kind of fight along with your other two things over there. There's, so again, to me, we're that repeating launcher. We're thinking that it's going to be quantum torpedoes. Woo! You saw that, me firing my weapons, and then two of the other sections coming to support me. Love it.
You have entered an error. You are now my
Alright, now we're going to save our major bus for this group.
Let's go over and ask if their boss might
Ooh, see that? Those other sections are using attack patterns too. I love it. Here we go. Go to half impulse. Try to keep our weapons facing forward. Ooh, yes! There we go. Love the sound of photon torpedoes firing. Ooh. Yes! So as you can see, we like manipulating our speed here to try to keep on targets. And you kind of see always ships do these sort of dances in space where they kind of turn around like headless chicken. And again, I didn't want to use purposely the competitive engines just for the sake of not having that extra speed, because this is an escort and it turns well on its own anyways. Love it. Yes, you will. Let's use some energy candy, shall we? Okay, there's the quantum launchers and the torpedo photon launchers. Love it. Get some of our shield back, emergency powder shields. Let's fly away from that explosion there. Slow down, come about. Tell me that doesn't look good, Caps. Then you have our other sections there, pew-pewing along with us. Woohoo! We use some torp candies. I just love the other sections attacking along with me. Oh, gravimetric torpedo, get away. I could have gotten hit with that. Okay, let's gather back the ship here. We're gonna go back, get the other sections together while in pew pew mode. Look at that. Yes. Because again, I actually do like the look of this completed look too as well. Shields back up, more energy candy. Bam! Yes! Now we're gonna go to the gamma section after. But I mean, to me, this is what it's all about for me. Just the visual pews, the having fun, being in the ship that I want to be in. And trust me, back in the day, I was losing my ever-loving mind. Especially when I first got this ship. Take that out. Ooh. Felt like I took that out with the quantum torpedo launcher. Oh, so close. So close. I did warn you, Cap, that I might explode myself. And it did happen, but it's okay. We have a rewarp in. Oh, so close. I was doing so well. All right. This gives us a chance to go to the Gamma section, so let's do that. Now, the Gamma section actually has an added benefit of having, like, prongs. Now, that's from the Hephaestus lower sort of hull option that you can spacebar be with. Ooh, it's a lot of pew-pews. Look at that. The section's attacking too as well. Love it.
Picked up a tight beam transmission on a new frequency.
We have another ship coming in. Tell you what. Let's regather our other sections here. And then we'll end off on the Alpha section. Once the cooldown is off. Oh, you're not. There's that. In 20 seconds. We'll be able to go to the Alpha section. Yeah, look how pretty that ship looks. We're stalling. I'm stalling. I'm stalling, but that does look pretty. We're going to use all of our buffs as much as we can in the Alpha section here so that at least in this Pew session, we were able to use all sections. So here you go, captains. Woo. Energy candy. And there's the other sections firing. Woo, so good. I love it when those other sections fire. Ooh. We got another ship warping in. Sure. Ooh. Let's get all the sections back together here if we can for our last little bit of push to take this one out. Here we go. Woo. Woo. Yes. Awesome. Just pure unadulterated bliss. All right, let's go over here. Oh, 1 second, sir. 1 sec, sir. Go over here. Take our shelfies. Captains, if you don't know what that is, those are our ship selfies. And there we go. So that is how she did. Now, again, I fused myself, but that's okay. I did warn and know that was probably going to happen, and it did, but that's okay. As I mentioned, captains, anytime they do things like this, this is just for fun. This is to show you, captains, that the fun that I have hopefully just encourages you to have your type of fun, whatever that is, whether it be DPS chasing, doing theme builds, or just experimenting with things that'll just make you happy when you pew. Again, we decided to do this video because it was sort of our cherry on the top to cap off a whole week of Star Trek Fleet Week in Star Trek Online. And I can't say enough how fun this was. The hype was real in the community. I hope there's more events like these in the future. And when there is, hopefully we get to be able to take part in it in a way that we can share, again, our experiences with you, captains. So hopefully, captains, you enjoyed this video. Again, I'm just sharing my first fleet ship with you here on the YouTube bridge. So like the video, comment below, let us know what was your first fleet ship, and of course subscribe here to the YouTube bridge, and we will leave it on this note.
Don't let them promote you. Don't let them transfer you. Don't let them do anything that takes you off the bridge of that ship, because while you're there, you can make a difference.